So, this one's gonna be about the placebo effect, and it's also, I think, gonna be about some Reddit questions. It depends on how fast I'm gonna be and how detailed I'm gonna talk about the placebo effect and what I'm just able to remember actually as well. But yeah, and as always, there's gonna be more after the intro. As every day. Because it's fine, because it's amazing. And with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. It is fairly late, it is 7:30 p.m. Yeah, which is fairly late, and it always feels like a little bit strange to just shout around like a dumbass than when it is actually so fucking late. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing quite well. Today's actually been one of the days where I actually do not know why I'm in such a mood. Like, I'm not really like that energetic, I feel like, you know, just during the day in terms of actually looking forward to the lessons that I had in school and all those things. Like, it's been a little bit different. It's been a little bit strange, but still, I'm gonna just record anyways, you know, I'm gonna upload anyways. I'm gonna talk about something anyways. So all the necessary links should be down in the description if you're searching for something. If there's something that you are in need of and it is not there, then please hit me up on social media and I'm then hopefully gonna be able to give you this certain link or whatever you're looking for. So let's talk about the placebo effect. First of all, there's like a difference between the placebo effect and the nocebo effect, which is actually something that, at my point of view, a lot of people don't know about. You know, the placebo effect is everything that's good in the end. So every effect, every result that is good. The nocebo effect is about everything that is bad, which means that I'm taking a drug and something and I kind of think that it's gonna just harm me, and then it is actually gonna harm me, you know, then I'm just gonna feel some pain and or whatnot, and then you're actually talking about the nocebo effect compared to the placebo effect. So in general, it has something to do with thinking about things, with thinking that a certain thing is doing something, whether it is a drug or whether it is something else, it is doing something to you. Whether it is something bad or something good just is like irrelevant now, but it's doing something to you. The kind of interesting thing there is that it is actually working, and there are just several studies around back pain, about just all different kinds of things, like really interestingly also about acupuncture, I think it is pronounced, but I'm not quite sure about that. And they have actually seen that it is like not as efficient as just real acupuncture is, or acupuncture, or whatever it actually is. But I think it's like 50% as good or 50% as relevant or as well doing for your body than actual acupuncture is, compared to like nothing if you're doing nothing. So it's like really a huge deal, to be honest, just because you think that something is doing, or you think that someone is doing something to you that is going to make you feel better, that you actually then also feel better. In terms of acupuncture, I maybe shouldn't be using the word all the time that I don't know how to pronounce, but in terms of it, you're basically using needles that are going to retract themselves into their kind of just own body, some sort of, if you just press it against your skin. So it's actually not in your body, it's basically doing nothing, but you still feel like that it does something. And I think if I remember that correctly, and I'm gonna probably link all the things that I've been going through in the description, so please check them out and please have a look at them if you're interested at them or in them. I think it's been like 70% of well-being or doing better or just doing something if you're actually also having an interaction with the therapist, you know? If the therapist is only just doing his or her stuff and you're not communicating with him or her, then I think it's been like 50%. And then if you're actually having a communication or something, then it is 70%, which is actually quite a lot, to be honest, you know, compared to nothing if you're doing nothing, and compared to probably 100% if you're actually like having actual acupuncture. But as I said, there are also other things like back pain, migraine, just headache basically, and all other sorts of things. The thing that you might be seeing there, or the pattern that you might be recognizing there, is that it is all about pain. It is not really about just treating something. It's not really about curing something, because the placebo effect isn't actually curing something, as I've been reading. As I've been thinking about it, especially before I've actually read through all the articles, I actually thought that it is curing you just because you think that some things are curing you. The only problem there is, or as the people say, as the researchers say, and as doctors say and whatnot, it is only about pain. It is only about reducing pain. It is only about just maybe not feeling the pain just because you think there is no pain. Basically like just looking away, basically, some sort of. But it is really not curing anything. Even though I really have to say again that I believe it somehow does cure things. You know, it is not kind of just stated in any kind of study or whatnot, or there is no citation or something else that is actually saying that. It is something that I think about. It's something that I feel about. Because I feel like if you really, truly think that something is helping you, then I also think that it is gonna help you. Just because your mind and your body are so deeply fucking connected that there just has to be something. That there has to be some sort of a thing that's going to happen. If you really deeply believe in the fact that this is going to help you. If it is actually then going to help you or not is just another thing. But still, like, it's really interesting. It's really cool. It's really great to be honest here. Still, there's also, as I said, some negative things about it. There's some negative, which is then the nocebo effect, which is also something to look out for. But in general, we can use the placebo effect to make us feel better, because the thing is, a lot of people think that the placebo effect actually does not work if you're actually doing something that's in terms of, okay, that you're, for example, taking a placebo pill, and or a placebo tablet and drug, whatever it might be. If you know that it's a placebo, a lot of people think that it just isn't working any longer, just because you know that it is a placebo. The whole thing is actually that it still works, even though you know that it is a placebo and you know that it shouldn't actually be working, but it still works. In terms of taking pills, researchers and or doctors, I don't remember, one of them actually said that it is just because of the habit of taking a pill. It is not because of it is basically a placebo, but it's not about just taking just the pill and you kind of feel like that there is some sort of a substance in the pill that is making you feel better. But it is merely about taking the pill. It is just about taking the pill, which is going to let you feel better. Just because you're taking a fucking pill, which actually doesn't make any fucking sense. To really be honest here, but it still works. It still works because we are kind of, like, there's a connotation around taking a pill. Like, we think that whenever we are taking a pill, then this pill is going to just help us feel better. Just because whenever we are taking a pill, it's probably going to make us feel better. As I'm just thinking about it, I truly also have to say, like, if you're taking a pill, like a really regular pill, it's not a placebo, like the placebo effect still does something. Even though it is not a placebo pill, even though it is like a real pill, it still does something, I guess. I really feel that even though it might not be such a strong drug, that it can still just really do a lot just because you think that it is a pill and you know that it is a pill and that you know that you're going to take the pill, that you're going to just then feel better and all those things, which is really interesting. But I'm actually willing to read a small little article because I think it is a really funny one and it might also be a pretty interesting one to you as well. So as you can see on the left side of the screen, now we're actually having an article on the screen or in the small little window that you're seeing on the left side. And it is about placebos once again, and it's an article by Seth Godin from the 10th of March 2016. So it is not the newest one, but still, I gotta have to say, like, we are still reading books like just that are hundreds of years old and whatnot. So it doesn't really matter that much, to be honest. And it is also about placebos, as I said. And there's a quick little story in the first beginning of the whole article, which is, at my point of view, a relatively funny one. So therefore, I'm actually going to read it. Facing a long plane trip with a nasty cold, I headed over to the health food store. Excuse me, do you have any placebos? I have a really horrible cold. I'll take the strongest one you have got. She looked at me with pity. A placebo? Yes, please. Do you know which company makes that? I don't think we have any placebos. I waited for a second, thinking hard about what was happening. Hey, Sylvia, she yelled. There's a guy out here who wants some placebo, but he doesn't know who makes it. Do we carry that? But Sylvia didn't know. Which is actually a really funny thing, because like it is all about just actually using placebos. And if you're interested in Seth Godin, he's also just put out an podcast episode from the Akimbo podcast. I might be linking it down in the description if I'm not forgetting about it, but I'm probably gonna forget about it. So it's akimbo.me, which is the link to the website where you can actually find all the different episodes of the podcast. And it is a really great podcast. Like, I really believe it is one of the best podcasts that I have been listening to in my life. It is just really an amazing one. I just really enjoy every single episode because you know that there is going to be something amazing in every single episode, no matter what the topic is going to be about or what the episode is actually going to be about. And it is a really cool one. And it is actually also one of the reasons why I've started to talk about the placebo, and like I actually been willing to get some new knowledge or some more knowledge about the placebo effect and how it actually works and all those things by going through a few articles. And I thought like, well, it is cool just going through a few articles on the train so that I'm now gonna be able to talk about something more. And not really. I know that it is working. I know that it is working in just various different factors or different scenarios or scenes or environments. It is like really insane. But something that I really want to point out is that it's only going to be about pain. It's not about curing something else. It's rarely going to be about, or merely going to be about pain. If it is about headache, if it is about tummy ache, if it is about some ache in terms of like your food or whatever it might be, it's just maybe going to solve that. But it's not really going to make you just cure again. At least this is what some people on the Harvard site said about placebos. But as I said, I'm not quite sure about that, since I really believe that there is a really, really, really strong connection between the mind and also the body. And therefore, like, I believe that just must be something. But yeah, let's actually go through a few Reddit questions for the end of the episode. I'm actually thinking about not having so long episodes, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe just not more than 20 minutes. Also for the sake of not really just saving time, but maybe just having an episode that's 100% like interesting in terms of like there's not going to be a lot of pauses. There's not going to be a lot of repetitions maybe as well. I'm actually still having them. But yeah, never mind, Never ever mind. So how I went from rock bottom to the best version of myself, which is just a story, and I'm just, not gonna read that one. 6 months ago, I was homeless with $100 to my name, and now everything changed. There's a video, something else. Like, it's always kind of a fucked up thing to just search for good quote unquote questions. But yeah, still looking, unpopular opinion, self-help is bullshit. I've tried being grateful and I've tried to see the beauty in little things, and I've tried to constantly improve myself for a long time now. And I've come to the conclusion, TLDR, whatever it actually means. Is it like a short version kind of thing? No. Self-improvement, when done just for the fuck of it, is unnecessary, and it actually hampers happiness. Let's take an example. Donald's lawn mower stops working, or maybe the new breed of grass he encounters is too tough for an average Joe's lawn mower to handle. So he buys a book on repairing and upgrading lawnmowers. To outsiders, it's weird that such a book even exists, but in fact, the lawnmower repair upgrade industry is $1 billion one, and that it is actually a subreddit called Lawnmower Improvement with 256 fucking K members up and active. So Donald repairs his lawnmower, but something weird happens. Working on the machine is actually pretty fun. So while the grass is still left uncut, he starts to attach an additional upgrade to his machine. Stuff like a coffee maker and a banana peel and whatnot. Is there like a plot there? So what started out as a way for me to try to make more friends and learn social skills eventually transformed me into a constant goal to improve myself by reading books and articles and trying to play it out, and imagine it started out as a thing of utility for you as well. Over time though, the objective changed from trying to mend something or improve, I'm not gonna go through the whole one. I've actually read even too much about it. What I'm having to say about that, I really truly have to say that there's a lot of bullshit in self-help, and this is something to look out for, and this is also one of the reasons why you should always be thinking about the things that you're reading about, especially reading about and also listening about. Like, if you're just listening to podcasts, it's going to be the exact same thing, because a lot of people are talking about different things, and we all have different opinions on different topics, on different scenarios, on different objectives, on whatever it might be. We all are having different opinions. Some people might be having the exact same opinion as you're having, and some people might be just talking about something completely different, which you don't really think is the truth. Like, this is really something to think about, and knowing your own opinion on different things is also something to ask yourself about. If you're not having an opinion on something, then really try to figure it out. But I really believe that that there is gonna be a lot of things that people are talking about that you don't really believe in. First of all, this is the first point. And second of all, if you're constantly, there's always gonna be a bad side of everything that's good. Like, work has a lot of good sides, which is earning money and being able to just sustain yourself and all those things. But if you're just overdoing it and you're feeling bad about it, of course, you're maybe gonna burn out. Of course, you're gonna be unhappy. Of course, you're gonna maybe just not care about your family at all, but only care about your work, which is going to just let you go into a divorce and all those things. Like, of course, there's gonna be a bad side of everything that is good, but it's going to be exact same thing with self-help. Of course, if you're focusing so hard on self-help that you're not doing anything else but self-help, then it's just gonna be something bad. Kind of not really obviously, because I do not want to use that word since it's not always obvious what I think is obvious, but just look out for that. Use self-help for the sake of self-help to improve yourself, not to make yourself or your life actually more difficult or harder or whatever it might be, because it's not the reason why you're doing the self-help, Another one. Is self-help a drug? Maybe, which is actually kind of maybe even an answer to the question above or to the statement above, or like a question that is highly, highly, highly related to the upper one. Communication tips, any self-help books or articles. Communication is truly important, and it is, I think, if I remember correctly, one of the sectors or one of these skills that Warren Buffett actually also says that is really important, because it really is, because we're communicating all the fucking time, whether it be verbally or non-verbally, we're always communicating with the clothes that we're wearing and all those things. Like, we are always communicating. Whatever you're doing, you're fucking communicating, which is something that you have to think about. And there's like a lot of different schemes and a lot of different just approaches to explain communication, and it can be difficult, but it also can be really, really interesting to think about communication, to talk about communication, just having some schemes. Like the most basic one is the receiver and the sender scheme, I would say. I don't know if it is actually called scheme, but it is an image somehow. And I can also just show you. Sender, receiver. And it's not working, fuck you. So as you can see there, we're having the sender and receiver side, and there's a message, and there's also going to be some noise, which is kind of like actual noise. It can actually be actual noise, and there's going to be the message, and there's going to be the channel. When you're talking, the channel is the air, which is something that you need to use or basically to have communication, because if you're talking, air delivers or basically transfers your tonalities or your tones that you're making with your mouth, not really mouth, but with your body actually. You need just air, to hear that, because if I'm talking and I would be in a vacuum, then you wouldn't be hearing anything, because there's nothing that is transferring those tones that I'm making to you. And the funny thing is, I'm talking in English, which is a code, and if you're also able to just speak English or decode English, then you are understanding it. You're understanding my code, you're understanding my message that I'm sending out. And and there's maybe going to be feedback, maybe even not. It depends. It heavily depends. Maybe the feedback is going to be, what did you say? And all different sorts of things. Communication is truly something that can be interesting. It depends on the scheme, it depends on various factors, it also depends on how interested you are in it. But the last one. I think self-help is driving me insane. I lost a lot of feelings I used to have, the drive, the ambition, just fucking everything. It all feels empty and pointless now. I've been feeling strong urges of suicide because nothing makes sense anymore, and I feel like life is all bullshit. Self-help, I feel, just makes it worse. I used to chase money, relationships, and pretty much all material things to fill in the gap of whatever emptiness I felt. Everything made sense then. The more money you had, the more valuable you were. More shit I could buy, and better person I was. It worked out until one day I lost it all, and I felt like I was nothing. Girlfriend, money, etc. My value was zero. It was a simple question before all that thought, whatever. Life is money, and it made me happy in all the wrong ways. Now I'm trying to figure out other motivators there are in life besides money, like passion, purpose, all that other shit. All the self-help books and articles state these things don't define you. Be content with what you have. Be present, as if we don't all need a job and have to pay bills. Surely we do have to do that. Sure, if it were up to me, I would be on a beach playing guitar and surfing all day, but that's not how life works. It can't fucking work. The problem that I'm seeing there is that life, if you're seeing life, maybe I should just read the whole one. I want love again. I want money. I want cool friends. Hell, I want them so bad I feel like I fucking need them. But apparently to self-help, I can't need them. I can desire but not need. What the fuck is the point then? Is there an extremely thin line between want and need that I want to cross? Maybe that's just my black and white thinking kicking in. I want to need blah blah blah. So I'm so tired of this loving the journey bullshit when this journey has no direction or known destination. Everything has to not mean that much, but still be pursued. And all those things. Like, I think I've actually read enough. I still just skip some points, which for the sake of not having an extremely long episode, what I'm thinking about, if you actually think about work and work being the variable and the work being the variable, because if you're just having work, you're done having the money. And if you're having the money, you can buy bullshit to impress people that don't actually give a fuck about you, nor you're giving a fuck about them. So, the first statement here. The problem is, if you're working on something that you absolutely hate, and there's a way to love what you're doing by seeing something in it, by not necessarily being passionate about the work that you're doing, but finding the passion in whatever you're doing, which is something new that I learned and something new that I'm trying to communicate. The thing there is, if you're doing something like, if you actually want to be on the beach all day long and surf and whatnot, then this should actually be the thing that you should be doing. If this is actually what you should be doing or what you're willing to be doing. And there's a fucking way to go around that. There's a fucking way to do it by being a surfing instructor on the beach, in Hawaii, wherever. You're not going to have all the fucking money because you're probably not going to earn hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, let's say. Which is something that you might be doing or might be able to do when you're having a quote-unquote regular job. The thing is, what would you choose? Being just chasing money and all those things and going for things that are really unnecessary, and or just going for your quote-unquote passion and doing something that you actually like for more than fucking 8 hours a fucking day. Something that I'm often seeing, I guess, is that people get it wrong in terms of maybe we are looking for things. Maybe we are looking for the bullshit in things, which is something that might be really common and something that might be just truly we are doing that. When we are searching for something and we are really willing to have something right or wrong, then we're going to search for these points that are just making it right or wrong, which is always the case. Maybe this is the case here. But in general, I really have to say that work is important. Liking your work is important. Work is important in terms of actually you need to pay bills, which is totally going to be the case. The thing is, it's rarely about earning, but most often it is about spending. If you're spending a lot of money, then of course you also need a job that provides you with such a lot of money. But if you're able to just reduce the amount of spending that you're having, then you're probably going to be able to just surf all day long and being a surfing instructor and or just building a business around surfing, whether it be a podcast about surfing, whether it be something else about surfing. You're then going to be able to work on that because you're not in need of all the money. That's nevertheless nothing of meaningful thing to you, if this makes sense. But I'm actually willing to just maybe talk about one of the things there. Yeah. One of the answers. I think everyone needs people, friends, love, and whatsoever. Of course, we all need it. It is we are human beings. I can't believe that I need someone or something. I don't have anyone. If I believe that I definitely would have killed myself a long time ago, no doubt about it. I understand I have to be content with being alone. I just blah, 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 yeah. Fair enough. Then I applaud you for being able to keep yourself afloat for so long. Have you thought about getting a dog? I know it seems weird, but the compassion, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I have a dog. Here's pretty cool, and I thank you. I appreciate that. That's the ironic paradox of goals. They can't mean that much to us. If they mean too much to us, then the little materialistic bullshit runs our life. I don't really get that. Goals are not going to be about buying materialistic bullshit. It's going to be about goals in life, having a higher goal, which is actually also a really typical self-help stuff. But still, having a purpose in life, at my point of view at least, and also as people like Viktor Frankl found out by studying things, by being a psycho-fucking analyst, is something that we need. And it's something that is going to drive us, and it's something that's going to make us and also keep us happy if there's a purpose that we're having. And if you're just actually seeing that in Auschwitz, in a concentration camp or a Konzentrationslager, then it's gonna mean something. Then it's gonna be about something. Then it's gonna just have to say something. It's just, yeah. However, if you go too far off the spectrum, congrats, you're a fucking monk on the Himalayas. Believing those things, yeah, that just has to be. Like, I don't know. I would say if you're going for happiness, then everything is actually quite good. Just bottom line. Bottom line is just be fucking happy and sustain yourself as a happy person. And if you kind of feel like that something is making you unhappy, then just don't do that. And do something else, you know? You shouldn't be doing something that makes you unhappy. Of course, it heavily depends on how you think about the things that you're doing. Because you can always be passionate about whatever you're doing or finding passion in whatever you're doing. But yeah, it's been an amazing episode. And I actually have to thank you for that. And I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. So please subscribe to the podcast or whatever. I'm going to see you, hopefully. And I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, which basically means just being a good person and then also being remembered as a good person. 3 other questions are, why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, since a lot of companies started out with solving something that really pissed them off in the first place. But yeah, I'm gonna see you the next time.